And the winner is?
The Falcons got it that time.
Oh.
Yeah, Falcons got it that time.
Is that unanimous here?
That was a good battle rap. But I'm telling you what, we need one of them each week. It's good for football, but Atlanta Falcons, he tore him up.
Right.
I got to give it to him.
All right, now we'll see today if they can do it on the field. But before we talk about that later in the show, we're going to take you back. I don't know if Atlanta Falcons fans are happy to see this, but we want to talk about that Super Bowl from last year. And Rex, I'll start with you, just very frankly, as you know to do. Who is this on more, coaching or players?
Well, I think as a coach, you always, you look at yourself first. And it's on the coach, and not just one Super Bowl, but 2 Super Bowls. Give the ball to Marshawn Lynch like everybody else in the world would do,
Yep.
You win a Super Bowl. Now this one right here, run the football. You're down in field goal range. The game's over after that. All you can do is run it. Instead, what do? Drop back, get sacked, and they have a holding call out of field goal range. Rest is history. It's not possible to give it up if you run the football down there. So I put it on coaching.
Interesting. Matt, as a player, I mean, when you come into this game, obviously there's been so much talk about this is a revenge game. It can't really be a revenge game. This is not the Super Bowl.
I think it can kind of be a revenge game, quite honestly. I mean, really, anytime you lose at the end of the season as a player or as a coach, that whole offseason, you're thinking about that last game that you played. It could have been to not get in the playoffs, could have been a wild card game, could have been a playoff game, but it's actually the Super Bowl. I mean, just magnify it that much more. So you're sitting at home thinking, what could we have done different? What could we have done different? How could we beat this team the next time? And now's your chance. I know this isn't for the Super Bowl, but now's your chance. All those sleepless nights, the game tonight is your chance to kind of make yourself feel better, get that bad taste out of your mouth, and move on, quite honestly. So people aren't talking about 28-3 as much as they are right now.
I think it's a revenge game. Like if it's just a regular season game and they beat you the last season, it was a tough loss. Maybe, we want to get that team back, but they won the Super Bowl. It's like there's no get back for that. They won the Super Bowl. That game's over.
Make you feel better, though.
It might make you feel a little bit better, but they came back from 28-3 to win. And you talk about the coaching and who the blame lies on. I think there's a combination of both. But the coaches can't go inside the white lines. The players got to go out there and take care of business. And if you look at one of the most critical plays in that game, it was on the players. And the coaches on the Patriots sideline, they talked about it. They saw Tevin Coleman go out of the game a play before this play. And they said, you know what? Devontae Freeman is going to have to pass protect. And he's not very good at pass protecting. If you look at him, to me, his eyes are in the wrong place. He keeps scanning across the field as if there's slide protection matter. He has to go scan across the offensive line and pick up a blocker on the opposite side. But he's got Hightower on his side, and he misses him. And if you look downfield, Aldrick Robinson had beaten Malcolm Butler off the line. That is a touchdown. This game is over if he picks that block up, but he doesn't. His eyes were in the wrong place. So it's all about the players, in my perspective, being able to do your job. And at that particular moment in the game, a big point in that game, he didn't do his job. So it's on the players.
Well, see, and that's an interesting point right there. It is the execution of the play, certainly. But when you're sitting back, you just took it out of there. Like, you made it possible to lose the game. When I look at that Seattle one, and then you come back and you look at how they gave up that lead, that's why I put it flat on coaching. It's like, don't put it in the hands of your players. Just put the ball, run the football, follow the ball. You always tell your quarterback in those situations, hey, follow the ball carrier in case something happens. But, I mean, right now you'd all be celebrating right here had you just done what everybody in the world would have told you to do, run the football. I believe that play right there, wasn't that a short yardage play?
I think it was 3rd and 1.
Yeah, 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
So, but that wasn't the one I had the biggest problem with. The one I had the problem with was after the great catch by Julio Jones.
Yeah, on the sideline.
You're already in field goal range. You got a kicker, never missed. Just run the thing out and take your win and celebrate. Instead, probably the worst defeat in the history of Super Bowls.
Well, you're talking about the players, you're talking about the coaches, and I'm going to have to stay with the coaching because I don't even know how familiar Coach Sarkisian is with a Bill Belichick-style defense. And tonight, I'm going to be paying attention to the third downs. You just played that Super Bowl rematch that Devontae Freeman would, and I do agree it was coaching. 3rd down and 1, run the ball. You don't need to be in the shotgun. So tonight, Sunday Night Football, I'm actually going to be looking third down, see how Sarkisian's going to call the game, because throughout the 4 quarters, there is going to be some situations, Coach, as you know, we don't practice during the week.
Right.
That's going to show up in the game. So I'm actually anxious to see how offensive coordinator Coach Sarkisian is going to play on third down tonight.
Adam, you wanted to jump in on this?
Well, a couple of things. Charles brought up the Aldrick Robinson play, open downfield. I can tell you that when the coaches looked at the tape of that play, they could not believe how open he was. You're right, Charles. That was a touchdown. And speaking of watching tape, the Falcons have not shied away from watching the tape. They've gone back and looked at the tape of that Super Bowl. They wanted to see how the Patriots schemed them from that Super Bowl day. So scheme versus scheme, looking at that tape, and no man is more familiar with how to deal with Super Bowl defeat than Dan Quinn. Was on the sideline for the Seahawks loss against the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and then on the sideline again for the Falcons loss in the Super Bowl.
But as Dan Quinn knows, this is a different Patriots offense even on this side.
Right.
Gronk is playing. He didn't in the Super Bowl. Edelman is not playing. He did play in the Super Bowl.
Brandon Cooks is playing.
Brandon Cooks is playing. But Brandon Cooks, with the Saints against the Falcons last year in 2 games, only 5 catches for 37 yards. So they're familiar with him too, Sam.
And look, let's be honest. Some of that game last year, even if it was just a little bit, is just dumb luck. Sometimes you got to get a little bit lucky for things to go that well if you're the Patriots. That does make me think, though, about all these celebrations. I want to know what your favorites have been from this year. We're almost halfway through. Who wants to go first?
I think. I'm
Matt. Yeah,
I'm
you
going with
first.
Golden Tate. People's elbow. You know, he took it back to the old wrestling.
Gotta love
Shout
The
out,
Rock.
Randy. I know you're a wrestling fan, but this is heart stopping, elbow dropping. Give it to him, Golden Tate. Putting the fun back in the NFL and celebrations. Big fan.
The choreography is the best part.
And you got even the teammate in there giving the countdown. I
You
like
got to
it.
let the teammate get a full 3 count.
Very good. All right, guys.
I'm going to go with the duck, duck, goose, or as they call it out there, duck,
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 duck, gray duck.
But you don't understand. But you got so many guys, and you're just going, it doesn't look great. But you know what? You're including a ton of guys. Keenum gets in there and decides that I don't know what I'm doing here. But you know, I like it. A lot of
But
guys.
it's teamwork. It's teamwork.
Absolutely.
Of course the coach would pick
2
one.
guys running the wrong way.
All right, you know what? Mine actually wasn't in the game. You know where it was? It was right on this set. There's Jack Collinsworth. Get after it, Jack. I like it. Charles chopping it up.
Very
Eating carrot with a
Very
fork.
proper.
Real sophisticated with mine, didn't it?
With a cabaret.
Randy.
That's the one right there.
Hey, Collinsworth, you ain't the only one, boy.
Hey, man, you was riding a horse. That wasn't no funny.
I just did what Jack did, man.
Oh, Charles.
Hey, man, my favorite one got to go with my old squad, man. The Packers going with the old Jamaican bobsled team, man.
Go running.
Oh, I thought the synchronicity was perfect. Look at jump in, get in. Now let's go. Take off. Left, right, left, right.
That is good.
Yeah, they did a heck of
All
a
right.
job
Good.
on that.
It's tougher than
Hey,
it looks.
but what I think you guys don't know is that we actually have our own bobsled team right here at ESPN.
Is that right?
Yeah, you guys know. Where's
You sure about that?
Good
Joy.
Come on. Where's the league?
Who do you
Where's
got?
the league
Where's your
man
team?
from?
Hey,
Joey.
Joey
What's up, man? Let's go.
What's happening right now?
Get in there.
I don't know. I'm not good now.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't get close.
And I got the lucky egg, man. So we are good, man.
You did?
Hey, I bet y'all can't do it.
I bet we won't.
Get on in there, coach. Get on in there, coach.
Bobsled's not going anywhere.
Right. Back to the middle, coach. Let's get out of there.
That bobsled
I
is
just
getting
stayed out of
stuck.
that
That's
one.
what you get. That bobsled's getting stuck.
Get a little weight going for him. Got a chance.
Oh,
Got to
I
transfer
don't know
that
about
weight.
aerodynamics.
I had a tear come down. Oh.